Liquid Schwartz.
Regular
Welcome back to another episode of Regular Dudes Watch Stuff. I am JBG, a jack of many trades. But for right now, being a doctor, lawyer, and a meteorologist, it's just going to have to be enough, all right? Guy's got goals, but a guy also has to live. I'm back with the supreme master of cuisine, the soup deucer, and our glue guy, Magnum Mills, to talk about stuff that we have watched. First, let's talk about ourselves. Soup, how you doing tonight?
Doing well, man. Doing well. Just getting through the day to day, man. Living life. People say they live the dream. I like to say I'm dreaming the life, man. It's kind of where I'm at.
Spoken like a man who works in the back of the house. Thank you for checking us out, and thank you, Jamie G, for calling me the glue guy and not the goo guy. I don't think Glenn would have liked that.
Who else but Quagmire?
We hope that you're going to like this episode of Regular Dudes Watch Stuff. You can find our content wherever you get your podcasts and on YouTube. Find us on social media at Dudes Watch Stuff, same place on the web, dudeswatchstuff.com. Simple and easy to remember, just like those flaps, FLAPS. Very crucial to our success. Follow, like, and please subscribe. If you had fun, please make sure that you hit the thumb and be aware that there are going to be various spoilers going forward. We're going to be talking about some shows, movies, various different things. We will try very hard not to give away major spoilers, but there are probably going to be a couple of minor ones that slip past the goalie. So if you don't know, now you know.
Now we know.
And knowing is half the battle.
Paraphrase our man Milkshake. It's been a minute. Because of that, we don't have a feature review for this episode. Instead, though, we're going to concentrate on filling in the holes in this house. In this case, we are the house, and we're talking about what we've been filling our holes with since last time. Soup, go ahead. Let us know. What have you been checking out lately?
Well, I'll start by saying the new season of Shoresy, and I know that Mills has seen this as well. I mean, awesome. I'm not going to get into the details of that one, but yeah, it's top of the list of what I've been filling the holes with. Seeing all that. Also, I have a couple other ones here, man. I don't know if you guys want to go back and forth with this, but I'll just jump to the next one and say I watched this movie called Miracle Mile. Okay, and this was one that really impressed me, man. It's like a cult classic or something from the 80s that I haven't heard of before. Normally I know movies like this, and it popped up on one of my whatnots, and I was like, well, what the fuck is this, man? Why do I not know about this movie, And then I was researching it a little bit and was like, oh, I have heard of this before, and I decided to go ahead and give it a look. And it blew my mind, man. Like the way this movie ended, it was absolutely one of those just kind of got me like I said, blew my mind a little bit, man. So very cool, very good watch. I highly recommend it. Movie called Miracle Mile. It's like an 88 movie, 86 movie, something like that. But stellar production crew. The actors you might not know as much, though, Anthony Edwards, I think, from a couple other 80s movies and whatnot. But yeah, very, very good in the Kubrick style of movie, I would put it.
Also starring Mike Kai Williamson, who Jamie G might know as Limehouse from Justified.
In this
Soup might know,
Yeah.
and Soup might know as Bubba from Forrest Gump.
Yep.
Nice. That's a little bit of a deep cut there. Like that one a lot. I will say, I've been doing the dad thing. I've been actually keeping up with the new season of Reacher on Amazon. It's fine. If you like the first couple of seasons, you'll like it. I think the boy Ellen Rickson is real good. It's a nice kind of put it on in the background, don't have to think about it too much show. Yeah, it's worked really well for me. Also keeping up with Invincible on Amazon Prime. Third season of that. I'm about halfway through reading the actual comic series it's based on. Very good. Enjoy it. If you haven't started it, you can binge it pretty easily. Really been enjoying both of those. Jamie G, what are you working through these days?
Wow. Well, I've been busy since the last time we got together. You mentioned the Penguin earlier. Mills, I thought The Penguin was phenomenal television, and the Screen Actors Guild agreed, bringing home several awards there. I thought this was awesome. You wouldn't know it was a Batman movie. It gave me the mafioso thing that I've so missed since Sopranos has gone away. But I thought it looked good, felt good, and the supporting cast here was just incredible. Outside of that, I just recently finished up a couple of shows. I'm going to start with the Netflix American Primeval. I just got to say one thing. Peter Berg. Peter Berg for the win. The directing on this was spot on. This is incredible, especially if you like early American civilization as we forged out west. Just phenomenal. It looks good. It's so cool. It's entertaining. Yeah, spot on, dude. I loved it here as a limited series. I think there's only four, maybe six episodes, something like that. Don't quote me on it. It's a limited series. It's very cool. I also then finished out Mr. Robot. I was totally late on this. I didn't know anything about it. Shout out to Mills for being like, dude, you should watch it. All I gotta say is, holy shit, man. This was incredibly complex, just a major mental thinker, mind bender here, and just so freaking relatable to today's world. It's scary. At times, you feel bad with the mental health component here, but overall, this show is awesome, and I absolutely love it. I would recommend it. Four incredible seasons, great acting, great supporting cast. The story is just awesome. For fun, I'm enjoying Preacher over on Netflix. It's very, very fun. Pretty cool story here. Lots of shit going on. Feels like all the different storylines, and there's three, four, five of them, are all kind of coming to a head or they're interrelated. Seth Rogen's kind of one of the writers behind this. It's not a typical Seth Rogen project. I like it. It's in the middle of nowhere in Texas, church bad boy coming home, try to do the right thing. There's mythical shit. It's pretty cool. It's worth checking out. Outside of that, Mills, I just finished Fallout. Late to the game on this one too. This one's over on Amazon Prime. It was pretty awesome. I mean, is there anything Walton Goggins can't do?
No. No, man. Shit, no, man.
I mean, damn, dude. I loved it. The whole post-apocalyptic vibe, but it had more of a sinister, big government with bad intention kind of vibe. Really cool. I'm excited for season two. I will say the last thing, I think last we talked, I was in the midst of Dexter. I finished Dexter late, but wow, it's such a great show that totally fucks up everything that it possibly could in the last few seasons. It's incredible, but like, what a horrible finish. Um, yeah, I've been watching a lot. Those are some of the ones that I just like, really felt the need to talk about.
That reminded me a lot of when, if you watch Arrested Development, Joe Bluth gets hired by Stillwell Enterprises, and then he basically burns through all the ideas he steals from Michael in one day. Like, just in one meeting, he gives like a whole notebook, a whole year. Like, you just burned through so much shit. Dexter, I told you, stop after season 4 and talk to me. You didn't listen to me, so I don't necessarily feel bad. We are probably going to do an entire episode on this because neither of us have seen the prequel or the sequel, and we want to maybe debate whether or not we should. So tune back in for that. Fallout, I played a couple of the Fallout games. I struggled a little bit. I enjoyed Fallout 4, but I didn't do well at it, and I got frustrated and gave up at some point. I didn't know anything going into this series. I really enjoyed it. It works pretty much for just about anybody, I think. You don't really need to know the games. It's genre, but it's not. I think it gets away with a lot. Maybe it's just because the actors are very charming. You know, you take one of the most popular actors from Yellow Jackets with one of the most popular actors from Justified, put it in a stew, and you got some good stuff going. And goddamn, I can't believe you're getting into Preacher. Soup, you would love Preacher. This would be right up your alley. Dominic Cooper kills it at one point. Both the Devil and Hitler are big players in the game. It's a very subversive comic. I mean, there's a character called Arseface because he tried to kill himself and he comes back and his face looks like an ass because he tried to shoot himself in the face. It's a really kind of dark book. In AMC, they did a decent job of it. Malcolm Barrett, who we know from The Boys. He was on the pilot episode of Sunny, Better Off Ted, been in a bunch of stuff over the years. He's in it. A lot of good people in it. That is a Ruth Negga, been in a bunch of great shit. Dominic Cooper plays the lead here.
What's it on? It's called The Preacher.
Just Preacher. It's
Preacher.
on Netflix now, I think. It originally aired on AMC. I believe it's on Netflix now. Yeah, that would be right up your alley.
Yeah, all right. I'm writing it on the paper, man.
Yeah, you should. Yeah, I'm working my way through Invincible. When I'm done with Invincible, the next, like I like to buy the comics in the compendium, so you can, just read a bunch at a time. So you have to buy the individual joints. But I do want to actually read Preacher because as much as I enjoyed the show, I heard the comic run was better, and that's kind of what I do for my short form stuff these days. I like kind of reading. I worked my way through The Boys, and I'm working my way through Invincible. Been enjoying stuff
Yeah,
like
I
that.
would like this. I'm gonna work on trying to spend more time
You would
reading.
like Preacher, dude. You would. Preacher is
I
right
like
there.
reading. So,
And I know I've talked about it. I've tried to get you into Severance. That is also another good one.
my
I
watch
am
list,
definitely
yeah.
into. Did you do the Squid Game at all? I didn't do it right when it first came out, and then I did the first season, and then I kind of circled back around to it. I watched the second season. I believe the third and final season is coming out. It's fun. You get sucked into it. It's really messed up, man. It's
I
not a little
heard,
bit. I think of that Saw aspect to it, but it's pretty well done. Even if you're doing it's filmed, obviously in Korean, but you can get the English dub to it, so
I think that's
it
what held me
works
back
pretty
from
well.
watching
But
it.
or you can do it subtitles. I did the English dub, but I didn't really mind that. I enjoyed it. I'm kind of looking forward to the conclusion to it. Jamie G, did you check out the Squid Game joint at all on Netflix?
Not yet, but it's on my list. I've heard season one better than season two, but excited to watch both. It's on my list. I won't be as taken back because I know the general gist of it. Obviously, I just know the kind of the overarching theme here, but I still am excited to watch it. It's definitely on my to-do list.
It's messed up, but it's very watchable, and it's I think well enough done. Soup, you got any? I got a couple more here, but we've been talking for a
I
minute. What
got
do
a
you got
couple
for us,
more,
man?
man.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
rock
got
and roll,
more.
man.
I got more holes, dude. I've had a little bit of time. It's been a while since we got together on holes.
How
So
deep are your love for me? How deep are your holes for us? Let us find
my
out.
holes are pretty deep today, man. Deeper than usual today. Usually I don't got the deep holes because I'm always, doing other shit. But now today I got deeper holes, man. So anyway, next let's dive into those deeper holes. Next, man, I watched Nosferatu, man. Nosferatu, the newer, obviously not yes, the new one, man. But there is the old one too, the silent film, which was from 1922, like 100 some years ago, man. Awesome shit. But the new Nosferatu, it was good, man. It was good, and it got a lot of hype because of mostly because of the cosmetics and whatnot with the Bill Skarsgård and everything, and how he transformed into this character and all that, But and it was top notch, man. I mean that really was like a highlight of just how they made, that like what they can do now with it with the way they make the characters look and stuff. I mean, it was awesome. But the movie was really good too. I mean, Nosferatu's loosely based on Bram Stoker's Dracula, so it's got a lot of the same things as, like, say, if you watched the Dracula movie with Keanu and Gary Oldman and shit so similar to that kind of thing, but it goes a little bit different in a lot of, in kind of a few other directions, but it has that vibe, but it was cool the way they put it together and the way they showed it at the end and depicted it. I think it was very true to what it was supposed to be, man. So it was a really good watch. It's dark. It's kind of slow. You do have to pay attention to this thing, but it's good. It's definitely a good look, man. So I highly recommend that one, man. If you're in the mood for something like that. I love the fucking throwbacks, man. Find me in something to change up the vibe and reset the tone to the 80s or something, man. I'm down, dude. So I was able to catch I forget who was streaming it, but it was recently, like a couple of weeks ago. Uh, within the past like two weeks or whatever. And it was just one of the guys. And I don't know the last time anybody has seen just one of the guys from it's got to be early 80s or at least is somewhere right in the early mid 80s or whatever. This movie though is so freaking hilarious, but what bothers me is how people would watch it in like this present time and look at it like if people haven't seen it before, didn't grow up in like that time of where like the way you think some things are funny to where people right now wouldn't think those things were funny, and that bothers me, because at the end of the day, humor is humor, and it's all in good fun and all that. But I think there was a lot of that in this one. But there's also a movie I think that people nowadays should watch, for that aspect of things. And then it had a lot of the classic '80s, cheesiness, and you got a kid in class with a lizard, or something, those weird things
Yeah,
that for
everyone was
me
like really quirky and that kind of shit.
are
What do you think
quirky.
compared to like just one of the guys compared to Ladybugs? That's a little bit of a later
Yeah,
'90s take on it.
exactly.
With dude, Rodney
Ladybug.
Dangerfield obviously as
Yeah, and
the
you got
coach, but I feel that was
Rodney Dangerfield.
like that's at one point it was a fairly common trope, but I think either way, all of those are still far better than Soul Man, which was we can all say pretty good.
Oh yeah, yeah. See,
Yeah,
Soul Man.
that was too. That was I think even like that was a little too much probably. Not Weekend at Bernie's though.
The
That was great.
problem, the thing about it is, unfortunately, that was kind of
Right?
holding
Yeah. No, it was a.
society, man. So I mean, is it good? Is it bad? It's art, man. It doesn't matter, because it is what it is, man. And it's in none of
Right, it's
these are
right
done.
up there with the Sonny doing the Lethal Weapon joints, and they've had they even did Lethal Weapon 7 in commentary to the first two. We will see if in season 17 they can come out with Lethal Weapon 8. Jamie G and I are both current on Severance, which is incredibly awesome. We're doing that on the channel. Make sure you check it out. I am current with Yellow Jackets. I do not want to spoil that for any of y'all. I will say that I got sucked into the Paradise joint from Hulu. Kind of random. I heard it was good. It was one of those things where I was watching something else. I actually believe it was Shorzy. And then it just, there's like, you might like that. It starts playing something else. And I'm like, oh, I know it's good. Like, I'm not doing anything else. I watched the first episode and I wound up burning through the current 7 episodes as we're recording this. The season finale is about to air, got picked up for season 2. It's one of those shows I can't really say anything about without spoiling it, but I have absolutely enjoyed it. And as the Soup mentioned, and as I just referred to, Shorzy season 4, very good. There'll be a season 5. We already talked about the first 3 episodes of season 4. We'll be talking about the second 3.
Check us out at there's something about Shorzy
There's
on the
something about
channel.
Shorzy, dude. And also, there's something about the girls of Sudbury, dude. They are they're a ridiculous number of hot chicks in
Pens everywhere
Sudbury.
you look, dude. Yeah.
Tens everywhere, dude. I'm fighting them off as I ride my bike to mow Laura Morris lawn. Jamie G, you got me into it. Arcane. I liked the first season. I liked the second season. I watched it. I thought it was really good television. I don't think it hooked me quite the same way it hooked you. I thought it was very good. I know people who, think it was one of the better, runs of television in recent memory. I think it was an incredible accomplishment for an animation studio that they started from scratch to make it. I will watch what they do next. I really loved it, but I wouldn't quite put it in my all-time list. I'm assuming at this point you've finished Arcane season 2. What did you think about that one?
Yeah, dude, big fan. I mean, first of all, if you want to see something look the best it possibly can, especially for an animated and it's different than normal, this is what you do here. You go all in on it. I thought it was fantastic. The storyline was awesome. You didn't have to watch the game or really have a huge understanding of League of Legends to follow this one, but I thought it was incredibly emotional and hard to kind of get to a finish. Loved it, dude. Loved the way it looked. Loved the whole steampunk element of it. It was so cool. And when you just allow yourself to realize that these characters were hand drawn and all the shit that you're seeing at one point was hand drawn and then turned into what you see, a lot of respect for it, dude. A lot of respect for it.
It looked and sounded amazing. It was maybe a little bit tough to follow at times, and I really enjoyed it. It was just one of those things that as I'm watching it, I'm like, I know this is very, very good, but it's like, it just, I like it. It's just not going to be like my, most favorite thing ever. But if somebody wanted to think that, I could see how it could happen because it was extremely well made. Very well done. Just not like, I guess maybe because I have no background to League of Legends or whatever, because it was an animation or for whatever reason, it just didn't touch me on that level. But I can definitely step back and recognize that it was an amazing feat in animation and that it was extremely well done. I have no real problems with it. It just, it was one of those things like it was great. It just wasn't like my favorite thing ever. But if it's your favorite thing ever, I wouldn't argue with you.
I'm gonna have to give that shit a watch, man.
It's really cool, dude. It's really cool.
I've
And
heard
it's
it was.
very
I've heard it
unique.
was
It's
even outside of
extremely
yeah.
unique.
Yeah, it's definitely worth checking out, man.
And you have to really kind of pay attention to it. For an animated joint, like sometimes you think like, oh, I can check my phone or something. Like it's a very complex show.
Kind of like to pay attention to anything I'm paying attention to.
Yeah,
So
and generally, paying attention is a good idea when you should be paying
yeah, I pay
attention.
attention.
Yeah, I will not argue with that. I've also thrown in the Mr. Robot rewatch as I got Jamie G into
Is that
it.
the one with Slater in it?
Yep, and
Watch that too. I think that's on my
I
list.
can't say a goddamn thing about it except other than you should watch it because you should watch it and
you should watch,
you should
dude.
watch it.
Great one.
Well, I'll put that in my to-do list. I got more holes though too. You guys got any more holes, man?
I will, because neither of y'all seen it. I will just say I watched the final season of What We Do in the Shadows. Very good. It might be my least favorite season, but it's not bad in any way, shape, or form. I just think they narratively kind of blew their load a little bit in season 5. Super solid. If you've been checking out the show, you should. If you haven't, it's not a reason to not check it out, but I am trying to be honest. And then I did watch the Bobby De Niro joint 0 Day on Netflix. It was cool, well acted, decent kind of thriller joint, but I'll probably never watch it again. You know, fine, all that good kind of stuff. And Soup, probably right up your alley. Someone got me into From because I'd been into Lost, and some of the same people involved in Lost did that one. Really weird. Started out, it's kind of horror thriller. It jumps back and forth. Sometimes it's really horror, sometimes it's really thriller. Very messed up one. That one's from Epics, I believe, and I don't think it's coming back till 2026 for season 4, but it is coming back. So if you haven't watched From, if you enjoyed Lost with that kind of mystery horror, up there, another hard one to find. Again, I believe it's from Epics, available some places, but very cool. It sucks you in if you start watching it. Definitely sucks you in, but definitely a show where it's both a little bit you're worried where someone's going to jump out of the shadows and if they can pay off all the mysteries going. But if you're into that kind of thing, super cool. What else you got, Sue?
Yeah, it's totally on my radar, man. And again, I'm gonna lighten it up a little bit with being like, man, I went ahead and watched Strange Brew, rewatched Strange Brew, Strange Brew, dude. Strange Brew, I haven't seen it in like, I don't know, probably 15, 17, 18 years, something like that. Last time I watched this movie, dude. And it was streaming on I think Prime.
It's on Amazon. Yep, it got pushed into my
and it's been so I was like, man, Strange Brew, I'm checking it out, dude. I kind of remembered it vaguely, and I loved this movie, man. It was fucking hilarious. It was funnier way now more than what. And the thing is, with me, it's an anomaly kind of with this movie because this movie pulled off a PG rating, and they did shit I didn't like people doing, like changing up words and you know what they're saying, but they're really saying something else. Like I don't like that kind of shit, but they do it and they get away with it. And because of when it took place and what the movie was, I can kind of forgive it for this movie, and I'll probably never do that ever for anything else. But like, for whatever reason, I appreciate it kind of in this movie, the way they did it, which is weird. So, Strange Brew, shout out super young Rick Moranis and Dave Thomas, man. And Dave Thomas, not the Wendy's guy, or
yeah, no, the SCTV guy, the Dave Thomas that we know and love. I saw Canadian Bacon in the last 6 months. I'm kind of there with you on that. It's not quite the same, but kind of same kind of vibe from the SCTV guys.
Strange Brew is great. Give it a look, man, if you want a good comedy. And we need to,
there's a lot of those kind of John Candy joints, SCTV too, like Uncle Buck's on right now, Great Outdoors. I've seen a bunch of those available right now on at least one streaming service. So you got to kind of catch them when they're around sometimes with the streaming stuff.
Absolutely.
All of a sudden it's there, and then you want to watch it, and it's like, oh, it's nowhere to be streamed.
They come and go, man. It's like easy come, easy go, dude. One day you're there, one day you don't, man. You thought you had a couple another handfuls of cashews in your jar over there, but then you get up in the morning and you got, man, I got no nuts, so.
Well, either that or you only have unsalted cashews, so you only have unsalted nuts. And I mean,
got an unsalted nut.
Who wants nuts that aren't salty? I mean, let's be
honest
here.
That must always be salty.
You got an unsalted nut. You got a missing nut. mystery. Yeah, man. You guys are throwing me off with the nut situations here, man. And the last thing I filled my hole with before I'm gonna fucking get into, I guess we go on to our next thing, or if you guys got more holes or whatever. But I recently rewatched Role Models too, man. And Role Models was a good rewatch, man. I mean, you're talking about the whispering eye here, man. I mean, there's some good moments in Role Models, man. So that was a fun rewatch. I enjoyed that one as well. Aside from that, man, I mean, my holes are we're getting pretty full.
You're getting close to the top there. I think that's nice, and we're about to get onto the hype train. But before we do that, the soup pointed something out. Is there anything that's kind of like slipping through the cracks for y'all? Something that's been on your watch list for a while that you haven't been able to get to? Soup, you're the one who brought this up, man. Yeah, like I mentioned, like Yellow Jackets, Severance, a couple other things. What's kind of like right there on the edge that you want to watch that you haven't got to yet?
Yeah, dude, and it's a tough call between the what's on the watch list and what's on the continue watching list. So that's a fine line. But yeah, things that are out there that I haven't seen yet that I want to watch is like Furiosa. I still haven't seen that, the latest Mad Max joint. I haven't even seen the latest Indiana Jones joint. So I got a pretty long list of these things, man. So I don't even know where I would put at the top right now, other than maybe Beetlejuice, dude.
That's a good one. Jamie G, one thing kind of that like you've meant to watch that you just haven't been able to get to.
Well, Squid Games is one of them. It's been on my list for a minute, but it keeps getting bumped down. I've been purposely waiting to watch Yellow Jackets and White Lotus. I'm letting the full season come out. That way I can binge them. And I would say probably the biggest epic of like, oh, I've meant to watch it, but I haven't. The Wire. Yeah, I know I'm like 20 years late. I just haven't gotten to it yet, but I plan to.
Oh, I could co-sign that because we planned to start doing a podcast on The Wire about 5 years ago, so we were eventually going to get around
Right.
to that. So that's definitely on the list for me. And both y'all have tried to get me into it. The Trailer Park Boys, and also a rewatch of The Americans. All of those things are out there, so they're always on the list, but sometimes something else just jumps in there.
I couldn't help it. It just popped in there.
What? What just popped in there?
Just
pops in there.
Pops in there, man.
He pops in there, and so do we. And we got to tell you about the hype train. What's upcoming? What releases? What are things that we're hyped about? You're going to find out right here, right now. All right. Starting with Mills. Mills, give us your hype train.
Well, you should stay right here. Keep it on this channel for Romancing the Gemstones because the fourth and final season of The Righteous Gemstones from HBO is about to start. Danny McBride, John Goodman, Walton Goggins, all them dudes. It's going to be awesome. 2 episodes dropping March 9th, one every Sunday after that for 9 episodes. Going to be absolutely epic. Certainly looking forward to that. Make sure you're watching with us and or listening. And Andor. Remember Andor, the like best Star Wars thing in forever? The second and final season is coming out Tuesday, April 22nd on Disney Plus. Really looking forward to that one. I'm going to rewatch it. It's been about as good as it gets from a Star Wars standpoint in the past. Well, let's just call it a hyper minute. Jamie G, what are you hyped about here, brother?
Yeah, man, I'm all in on the Last of Us season 2. Just super stoked about this. Season 1 was fantastic. I thought it looked good visually, the way it sounded, the way it was shot, all the money spent, phenomenal. The acting was top notch. Again, I didn't play the video game, but this was just so cool. And yes, I have a draw to this kind of post-apocalyptic lifestyle, right? But this one was different. This wasn't like nuclear fallout. This was like zombie takeover. So it was a very cool one. Love it. Excited for season 2. Season 1 ended with like a holy shit. Really excited to see where they take season 2. Think there'll probably be some tear-jerking moments, but I'm super pumped for it.
I have played the video game, so I am not going to comment. Soup, what are you riding on the hype train with, man? What are you looking forward to?
Dude, I'm really looking forward to this Mickey 17 movie, man. Mickey 17 looks badass. It's hard to really tell from the trailer what's and I like that a trailer doesn't give us too much away, but the premise is like this guy gets into this situation where he like dies a bunch of times and keeps reliving like weird shit. But I think it has something to do with like it's on a Matrix level, weird kind of fucking movie like that, from what I gather, man. But anyway, the trailer looks freaking awesome, man. And this is definitely a movie that I think is going to be cool as fuck. So I'm looking forward to
That's cool. It sounds like a time loop kind of joint, right? Like I usually like
something
those.
like that. Yeah, it's going to be one.
Is there
It's going to be.
anybody notable? Just like one of them A24 jaunts, or you know anything else about it?
Yeah, not really. It's pretty loose right now, man. Pretty vague right now. Pretty vague right now. But dude, this is a movie. I'm surprised you guys haven't heard of this. Like there was a commercial during the Super Bowl about it, and that's where I first saw it. And I was like, dude, that looks badass. And then recently there's been a couple more here and there things about it. But I mean, dude, check into Mickey 17, man. I think it's going to be one of those like next level Matrix kind of movies, man.
Oh yeah, this is Bo Junho, the guy who did the Parasite flick. So yeah, like this could be. I can see that. Yeah, Robert Pattinson's in it. Stephen Yeun, Tony Collette, Mark Ruffalo. All right,
Yeah, I
I
like
like
Mark
that.
Ruffalo, dude. Right?
Good
Yeah.
call, dude. No, that's a solid cast. That looks
Check
good,
the
dude.
trailer. When you get a chance, check the trailer, dude. It looks cool as fuck, man, for real.
We're into that. Yeah, based on it looks like a book Mickey 7, but that looks super cool. So good calls
I'm
there.
also,
We're
yeah,
looking
man.
forward to the Righteous Gemstones fourth and final season, Andor season 2, The Last of Us season 2, and Mickey 17.
Yeah, man. I'm also looking forward into this. I recently watched Long Legs with Nick Cage, and I thought, they got a lot of hype because whatever reasons or whatever with that movie. It was good. I'm not going to take anything away from it. It wasn't what I wanted out of it, because either way, my point is my next hype train is a movie called The Surfer, and it's another Nicolas Cage movie, which I guess is kind of on a darker horror-ish kind of scale or whatever, maybe, or like a thriller or some. I don't know. I don't know a lot about it yet, but it looks very intriguing at this point. So look into The Surfer, starring Nicolas Cage, coming up, and Mickey 17 coming up. I think those two are going to be big ones, man.
Well, that's cool, man. I'm here for this late, career resurgence of Nick Cage. Maybe he's even plus money now. Maybe he's even actually making money instead of paying for his dinosaur skulls or whatever. It's a tough life.
It is time to fulfill our legal requirements to reference Archer in every episode we do here on Regular Dudes Watch Stuff. We do this with our sterling suggestions. This may sound fancy, but we're just recommending something for you to check out. Soup, go ahead and send us on our way.
Oh man, I get the first Sterling suggestion here. All right, man. Well, I'm gonna polish this Sterling before I send it on its way, man. So I had two in mind. I'm only going with one. What's it gonna be? What's it gonna be? Let's see which one polishes up better here. I'm going with the goods. Okay, the goods. This movie has Jeremy Piven, got a cameo of Will Ferrell. It's got there's a couple other people in there you recognize from other movies or whatnot. The movie The Goods, it's fucking hilarious, man. This is a movie that I think is under the radar, didn't get the attention it deserved, man. It's fun. It's a good watch. It's not too long. It's not too short. It gives you kind of everything you want. It's got backstory. It carries, it never slows down, kind of, man. It's a high octane comedy. This is a good watch, man. So I recommend The Goods.
It's a PP movie. It's a peak Piven movie. The whole point, if I remember right, he's like a salesman, and they move on to car lots, and
Salesman,
the whole
yeah.
deal is they'll sell like every car in the
One
lot
car.
in one
One
day
car.
or whatever. And that's kind of the whole pitch. And most of the people on the sales staff are all David Cockner's in it. A bunch of people you're very familiar with. I think Craig
Right.
Robinson
Yeah,
probably
yeah.
shows up. Kind of one of those flicks, and it's a very good time. So I think The Goods is probably good. Jamie G, what do you have for a sterling selection, brother?
Yeah, I talked about it a little bit in my holes, and I gotta say, man, it's a short, limited series. It's only, I think, 4 or 6 episodes, but American Primeval is awesome, dude. Like, definitely worth checking out as everything you want. It's such a fun experience and journey, but it looks so cool. I'm partial because I'm a huge fan of this time in American history where people tried to go west. People left New York City, people left Philadelphia, people left Virginia, and people tried to get west for greater good. but it was treacherous, dude. And this is such an awesome one where there's seven, eight, nine, 10 forces working against, but somehow, some way, will they find a way? You got to watch it to find out. Very, very cool. Great guest stars, great acting. Directing is just on another level, dude. It's worth it. Check it out.
I went a couple of ways with this, and it's funny because you said American Primeval, and I thought maybe for a second they were going to go with the Americans, which I've almost suggested twice. But I'm just teasing, and I'm not going to go with the Americans. Instead, I'm going to go with Watchmen, the series from HBO, not the actual movie, because right now they're pushing. There's a Watchmen animated joint, there's the Watchmen motion comic. It doesn't matter. I know the Zack Snyder joint was fine, but God damn, the Damon Lindelof Watchmen series from HBO is just amazing. I think it'll play incredibly well today. A perfect follow up, no notes. It has a superhero called Lube Man. If you need a hero, call on Lube Man. I don't want to spoil anything else, but absolutely fantastic. So
Did you say
that's my
lube? Man?
lube, like lube, like
Like
lube, like
lube?
Astroglide Man, lube.
Yeah, like so it's lube man.
Yeah,
Wow,
lube man. That's
nice.
the dude. You get a lube man. Maybe you might not get a lot of them, but there is a lube man. So
You gotta have a
those
good
are
lube guy, man. Yeah.
gotta have a. It's yeah. You would never have one of those Oceans 8s, 9s, 10s, 11s, 12s
Gotta
movies
have lube,
without
dude.
a
It's
lube
it's
man, dude.
you
I
gotta have
believe they call him a grease man, but a grease man and a lube man, I feel, are basically the same guy.
it's Flavor Flav, dude. You gotta have the flavor, man.
I thought he was a clock man.
And
Maybe that's
clock
the
that.
clock master.
You
Yeah,
gotta
I
have
mean,
something. Sometimes you have le glue. Something. You need
oh,
something.
yeah, Lugloo. Yeah, Lugloo. That sounds like Ocean 12 or whatever. So those were our sterling suggestions. The soup went with the goods and a little bit of an old school Jeremy Piven movie. Jamie G went with American Primeval, a recent Netflix series, and I went with Watchmen, a fairly recent one season HBO series. So take them wisely and, you know, Hail Mother of Vodka, Hail Mary, or Bloody Mary, excuse me. Bloody Mary
Yeah,
is the
just
mother
don't
of
say
all
it three
vodkas.
times in a row. And, it's not an official episode here unless we get the dude involved. It is time for the 6 Degrees of Lebowski. We don't have a featured review this time, so why don't we go ahead and why don't we just connect the dude to our man, Milkshake, Mr. Milchek, over on Severance.
That's actually easier than if you would have asked me to do it with Khalees in the milkshake video, so thank you for that. In The Big Lebowski, Jeff Bridges played the dude. In Bad Times at the El Royale, Jeff Bridges played Father Daniel Flynn, while John Hamm played Laramie Seymour Sullivan. On Mad Men, John Hamm played Don Draper, while Kiernan Shipka played Sally Draper. In Sweethearts from 2024, Kiernan Shipka played Jamie, and Tramel Tillman played Coach Reese. And over on Severance, on the severed floor, Tramel Tillman plays Seth Milchek. And goddamn it, Jamie G, how cool of a name is Tramel Tillman?
It's pretty cool, dude. It's basically the coolest. Go ahead, put your thinking hats on because it's time to play the questions three.
Who would cross the bridge of death must answer me these questions three.
3 questions. What if you get a question wrong? Then you are cast into the gorge of eternal peril.
Ask me the questions. I am not afraid.
And we shall watch and pray.
This is the questions three, and here's how it works. This week I've written the questions for Jamie G and the Soup Deucer. Contestants are awarded 1 point for each correct answer. Whoever gets the most points wins. In the event of a tie, there will be a tiebreaker. The winner gets a sponge to add to their supply, as do I for writing the questions. Gentlemen, if you wish to cross the bridge of death, you must answer me these questions three. Soup, you are up first here. This is going to be one you're going to have to make a choice, but I don't think it's that difficult. I think you can get it. In the movie Kingpin, name one animal other than a bull that Ishmael's Amish family has on their farm. One animal other than a bull.
Well, they don't have a cow. Boy, I mean, they gotta have a chicken. Tell me they got a chicken.
He says chicken. Okay. Question 2 is multiple choice. How many episodes of Cheers did Woody Harrelson appear in? A, 89, B, 158, C, 200, or D, 231?
Oh, fuck. Oh.
You got a 1 in 4 chance.
Give me 2 out of 4, man. Like whatever number 2 was.
He's going with B, 158 episodes. And finally, Soup, number 3, name the non-Lebowski movie in which Jeff Bridges and Sam Elliott both appear in. And here's a hint, Christian Slater was also in it.
Holy fuck. Oh man.
Doesn't sound like you know it. Throw a guess out there.
I don't. I'm even trying to think of something that has. Damn it. Damn it. Well, it wasn't Vanishing, was it?
The Vanishing he's going with. Jamie G, it is your turn to answer these questions 3, and we're going right back to the well with a Slater joint. Name at least one movie or television series where Christian Slater has appeared as himself.
As himself?
As himself. There are multiples. There's enough here. You should be able to get one.
Oh, oh, oh. Dude, I'm almost positive he comes on Archer as himself. I'm almost positive he does.
Question 2. How many movie sequels has Bill Murray appeared in? This is multiple choice, just like Soup. You get a multiple choice. A, 0. B, 2. C, 5. D, 7. Again, how many movie sequels has Bill Murray appeared in?
I'm going to go with only 2. And that's a shame. That's a tragedy.
Jamie G is going with B. And then finally, which Danny McBride-led HBO series did Adam Scott appear on?
I'm going to go with Vice Principals, but that's a guess.
He goes with Vice Principals. Going back to question 1. Ask the Soup, in Kingpin, name an animal other than a bull that Ishmael's Amish farm had on their Amish farm. In Soup, we know they had a bull, but they also had a horse because Roy took his shoes off, remember?
Yeah, they did have a horse. Fuck.
Yeah, we knew they had a horse. Jamie G, question 1 asks you name another movie or television series where Christian Slater has appeared as himself. He was called Slater in Archer, but it was not appearing as actually Christian Slater. You could have gone with Zoolander, Curb Your Enthusiasm, Entourage, or Scooby-Doo and Guess Who, at least as far as my research. Question 2, Soup, how many episodes of Cheers did Woody Harrelson appear in? You went with B, 158. The correct answer was C, 200 episodes. Jamie G, your question was, how many movie sequels has Bill Murray appeared in? You went with B, 2. The correct answer was D, 7. He's been in Ghostbusters 2, Ghostbusters Afterlife, Ghostbusters Frozen Empire, Garfield, A Tale of Two Kitties, Dumb and Dumber 2, Zombieland Double Tap, and Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania. Question number 3. Soup asked you name the non-Lebowski movie where Jeff Bridges and Sam Elliott both appeared with Christian Slater. The answer was The Contender from 2000. You said The Vanishing. Jamie G asked you which Danny McBride-led HBO series did Adam Scott appear on. The correct answer was Eastbound and Down, and you went with Vice Principals. You had a 1 out of 3 shot of getting there, yet you did not. That means we are down to tiebreaker. This could be fun. It is going to be a bit of a, last Boy Scout tiebreaker because why not? What is the lowest IMDb rating of any movie Bruce Willis has appeared in on IMDb? It's a scale of 1 to 10 in 10th increments. So it can be 1.1, 5.5, whatever. Jamie G, what do you think the lowest rating of any Bruce Willis movie is on IMDb? Closest to the right answer wins. Doesn't matter if you go over or not.
So just any.
It's got to be between 1 and 10 in 10th increments. So 1.2, 2.4, 3.7, all the way up from, 1.0 to 10.0. The lowest, the worst Bruce Willis movie. How low is it rated on IMDb?
Could Bruce Willis go into the 5 season? Maybe the 4s? I'm gonna go ahead and say 4.2.
David G goes 4.2. Soup, what do you think? On IMDb, again, scale of 1.0 to 10.0, what is the lowest rated movie that Bruce Willis has been in? You don't have to name the name of the movie, just the rating.
Oh, Shit, man. I'm sitting here trying to think of the movie the whole time, man.
No, just the lowest, man. You got to take a guess. Like, how bad did it get for Bruce Willis?
Yeah, yeah. So I'm gonna go. I'll go with God, man. I'm gonna go. Give me a 4.3, man.
4.3. He tries to big dog him, and Jamie G gets it by being slightly lower. It's actually Cosmic Sin from 2021, rated 2.5 on IMDb.
Oh shit, man.
Wow.
Well, unfortunately,
2.5.
Bruce Willis
Wow.
had a medical condition, so at the end of his career, he started making about 20 movies a year. It'd be those things where he would appear on the poster, but he'd only be in like 2 scenes, and they were pretty bad, like Steve Seagal style. So, unfortunately, it got really low for Bruce Willis. But Jamie G, you win the tiebreaker. You get the sponge. The man who already had enough sponges has more sponges, so congratulations.
I'll take the
Funny
sponges.
guy.
It's always good to stack sponges because you know what? I like a lot of things and I like to be liberal with the sponge. You want to be liberal with the sponge, you got to have a lot of sponges, and that's what I'm doing here, just stacking sponges.
That's why you have to be good friends with your local pharmacist. They have these sponges in stock, hopefully. And for our next featured review, we're doing for the first time a sequel thing. All of us have not necessarily seen the Beetlejuice sequel yet. Beetlejuice. We did the trailer, we did the original Beetlejuice. We all liked all that. We said we're going to do it. So that's what's up next. Soup, you're a hype man. Get us hype for Beetlejuice. You haven't seen it, but just get us hype off of the trailer and your general excitement to see it and talk about it.
Okay, I have not seen Beetlejuice yet. Here's why I'm still excited to watch this movie because I've talked to people who have seen it even back when it came out like months ago, and I don't really know anything about it, which is cool. Nobody said shit, it was just like, oh, it was good, it was funny, it was, so you don't, for me anyway, and I haven't dived into trying to know a lot about it because I don't want to because I haven't seen it yet, obviously. But so my thing is I don't know a whole lot about it yet, which is cool. Other than I heard it was, at least as good or, whatever. So I'm down to check it out. I've been looking forward to checking it out. And I'm super stoked, man. I got a good portion of the original cast back. Tim Burton's gonna do it right, dude. If he wouldn't hang on to this thing or even it wouldn't even be a thing if it was gonna, I'm pretty sure he's got a plan for it, or had a plan for it, and or it is already what it is. But I'm pretty sure it's gonna be pretty fucking good. So looking forward to watching, the latest, newest Beetlejuice movie, man.
I'm the right amount of hyped. I'm not going to go out and burn anything down or, chase the sandworms or whatever, but I'm definitely going to pull it up on HBO Max, which is where I think it is. It's on one of those streaming services, so we're going to be checking it out there and check it out with us, talk about it. Should be a good time. Hopefully you like the original, even if you didn't check it out. I'd actually be curious to hear from someone who, just goes in blind into Beetlejuice without seeing the first one. Does it make it better? Does it make it worse? We don't know because we all like the first one, so that's why we're checking out the second one.
Yeah, for sure, man. Definitely. And you know what, man? I'm thinking about getting never mind. I'm not gonna talk about that.
Yeah, it's not long enough, dude. No matter what you think, it's not really long enough to it won't be like BB. It won't stretch out the way you think it will.
He's no
What?
Stretch Armstrong, but you are. Thank you guys for stretching with us and watching another episode of Regular Dudes Watch Stuff. We love you. We love doing it. Hit us up, throw the thumb and subscribe. Let us know what you filled your holes with. Did you like any of our suggestions? You got any other suggestions that we must watch, must review? Let us know. This is the place to do it. Mills will let you know where you can find all of our details.
And the big question, if you could, would you want a second season of The Penguin? Is it worth it? Is or not? Let us know in the comments. Thanks again for checking out Regular Dudes Watch Stuff. You can find our content wherever you get your podcasts and on YouTube. Find us on social media at Dudes Watch Stuff. Same place on the web, dudeswatchstuff.com. We do our very best to keep it nice and simple, very easy to remember, just like the flaps, FLAPS. Follow, like, and please subscribe if you had fun. Please make sure that you've hit the thumb. I'm Magnum Mills. He's Jamie G. That's Soup Deucer. We did our thing. Thanks for checking it out. We'll see you next time.
Thanks again for watching another episode of Regular Dudes Watch Stuff. We're just dudes trying to be like the dude watching stuff.
The dude's about it.
I hope you don't mind. I got up a little early, so I took the liberty of milking your cow for you. Yeah, it took a little while to get her warmed up. She sure is a stubborn one. Then, pow, all at once.
We don't have a cow. We have a bull.
I brush my teeth.